Hello, and welcome to Arbor Financial's January 15-minute webinar, First Time RV Buyers. We are excited to have you here and hope you find value in the information we will be sharing today. My name is Sarah Sparrow, and I'm the Relationship Development Coordinator here at Arbor. I will be your moderator for today's webinar. To help us keep the presentation to 15 minutes, all participants will be muted. Please take a moment to locate the chat button at the top or bottom of your screen. During the presentation, if you have any questions that arise, please share them in the chat. This webinar is being recorded and will be sent to all webinar registrants within the next few days. Without further ado, I would like to take a moment and introduce you to your speaker, Nicole Costello. Nikki is a Relationship Development Director here at Arbor Financial and has years of experience in purchasing and owning a recreational vehicle herself. She is not only excited, but passionate about sharing her knowledge with you today. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Welcome everyone that is here today with us. We're so excited to talk to you and teach you a little bit about what we think we know. I'm sure we know. I first want to start out with talking about why I went from a tent camper to an RV camper. I have a couple different things that happened. So the first thing was I'm getting older, and frankly, I don't like to sleep on the ground anymore. Even with the little pad underneath my sleeping bag, it still is a little uncomfortable. So I figured once I turn a certain age, maybe I should make a little upgrade in how I camp. The straw that broke the camel's back was my daughter and my Great Dane and I were camping one weekend, and there was a terrible, horrible rainstorm, and we ended up getting waterlogged. So I said to myself, that's it. No more of this tent camping stuff. We're going to move up. So that's what we did. So today I want to give you some interesting facts about camping that you may not know. First one is the very first RV was built from a car in 1904. It was a wooden trailer that was added to the back of the car. It had 4 bunks, so slept 4 people, incandescent lights, an ice box, and a radio. Now, the first motor home that was built was in 1910, and that was built with a 3-ton Packard truck. It was 28 feet long. It slept 11 people, had an ice box, a toilet, and a salon. So let's move on. Another interesting fact, 11 million households own an RV in the United States. There are 40 million Americans that go camping at least once a year. And as of 2021, there are over 1,600,000 campsites in the United States. And a fun fact for you, one of the top 9 most beautiful places to camp, as I was reading in the Travel and Leisure magazine, is Petoskey, Michigan. So you might want to check that out. All right, well, what are we going to cover today? Today, we are going to talk about new or used RVs, which one would be the best fit for you. Are you going to buy your RV from a dealer, or are you going to use a private seller? And your financing options. There's some different ways you can go with your financing choices. And lastly, we're going to talk about other things that you might want to consider before you make your decision. So let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about new or used first of all. New units. If you buy a new unit, everything is new. It's customized. You can pick out your own colors. You can have a layout. Whatever you want, it's yours. Brand new. Nobody sat in it. Nobody slept in it. Everything is brand spanking new. The factory support and warranty also comes along with a new RV. RVs typically have a 2 to 3 year warranty on them. However, there are some manufacturers that only have a 1-year warranty, so you might want to check before you purchase. There is a bad point that high overall cost. When you're buying a brand new RV, it can be a little bit higher and more expensive than if you go with a private seller. Now, if you buy a used unit, the depreciation is much lower than that of the new unit. Once you drive your new unit off of the lot, it becomes depreciated quickly. So the used one doesn't depreciate as much because it's already been used. It also has all the kinks worked in. So it's already been driven. People have camped in it. If there were any issues with it, hopefully those were all fixed. Maybe some nice upgrades were put in as well. And then there is one thing that you have to remember about used RVs is the unknown history of it. We don't know what the past is of that RV, so you might want to make sure you're buying a good one. All right, are you going to use a dealer or are you going to use a private sales? With a dealer, you have an advantage because you have market-based pricing, which is the same as real estate. So there's no hidden prices in there. It is also inspected by a professional. Now, a brand new RV makes sense, but if you're buying a used RV, there is somebody that inspects it to ensure the quality level of the RV that they are selling. And also, I would make sure that you would research the credibility of the manufacturer or the dealer that you are purchasing from. That good point is maybe to look on the Better Business Bureau or some place like that. Now, if we're going to buy private, we have the options of you can purchase a diamond in the rough, a nice used RV that has been very well taken care of. It's got lots of miles on it. You don't want an RV that doesn't have very many miles on it because the purpose of buying an RV is to put miles on it and to travel. Excuse me. Next, expensive upgrades. Some used RVs do have really nice upgrades in them, and that's why people choose to sell them on their own because they think that they can probably get more money versus trading it into a dealer. And there also are pre-made checklists online that you can print out for free that you can take with you. So you can make sure you're getting all your T's crossed and your I's dotted. Now, let's think about financing for a minute. Dealership financing does have an advantage. Number one, they do all the legwork for you. You don't have to go run around and get everything that you need as you would with a financial institution. It's normally quicker than it would be if you go to a financial institution. However, the rate is usually a little bit higher than what you would get from your financial institution. Now, if we go with a financial institution, generally, as I said before, you do get a lower rate. You can use your current financial institution, so you already have a relationship with them. They know you. They can make things a little bit easier. And also, it does require a few extra steps as far as getting paperwork to them that you may not have to provide to a finance dealer. All right, so let's take a second and let's compare the difference. I just did a couple of little comparisons for you. The loan amount, let's say, is $25,000. And your loan term is 12 years. The rate, let's say this is a financial institution, 6.74%. So your total cost, if you look below, that is $36,524.65. And then I've also broken down the monthly payment would be $263.64, and the total interest that you would be paying is $11,524.65. If, let's say, you go with a dealer and their rate is 1% higher, we have a little difference here. You would, same term, 12 years, same loan amount, just 7.74% interest. The total cost is $38,456.91. So you can see below that, the monthly payment is a little higher, $267.06. And the total interest that you're ending up paying is quite a bit difference. It's almost $2,000, $1,935.36. So if you want to look at it like a monthly payment, you basically, if you go with your own financial institution or with a lower rate, in comparison to these you're looking at, you'd save about $20 a month on your payment, which you could save and use for other things, buy more supplies, more camping things, whatever you want. Maybe a thing to hold your bike in the back. I don't know. All right, so then there are some other things to consider that I wanted to mention. First of all, think about your max towing capacity in your vehicle. The gross vehicle weight is normally found on a sticker on the inside of the driver's side door. You might want to check that out. Also, you need to make sure that you can tow it when it's full. A shipped or dry weight when the RV arrives to the dealer is different than the gross vehicle weight, which includes the RV, the people in the car, your cargo, and if you have any liquids in your RV already, if you're doing some camping that you're not going to have full hookup. So there's those things. Size. Think about size. That's very important. What kind of family do you have? Do you have a small family? Are you going to grow up with that RV? Your family's going to get bigger. Are you going to have guests with you when you camp? Are you going to have your dog or maybe your Great Dane like me? Those kind of things you need to consider as well. There are different types of RVs. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. There's a pop-up, and then there's a hard top RV, and then there's the hybrid ones, which have the push outs on them too. So lots of different kinds of sizes and options for you there as well. Another thing I want you to think about, is where you're going to store it. Now, an average RV storage, it runs about $130 monthly, but that would be included for your summertime. Are you going to store it in your garage during the summer when you're not using it? Are you going to find a permanent place to keep it all summer and just camp at that spot? Are you going to park it in the driveway or on the street? I'll just tell you this, in Michigan, you can park your RV on the street no more than 72 hours. However, you should really check each city's ordinances because sometimes they don't allow it at all. Also, when you're storing in the winter, are you going to cover it? Are you going to store it inside? Are you going to make sure that you winterize it before you store it, which is very, very important part of winterizing your RV. It's usually $130 to $170 for basic winterizing packages. And that, of course, does not include your monthly storage fee. Now, the 5 key areas when you're looking at size and picking out a type of RV, camper, pop-up, whatever, you want to think about these in this order: sleeping, storage, the bathroom, the kitchen area, and your seating area. I know that our RV is a little bit small in the kitchen area. I had a really bad, I was making pancakes one morning and we have a really small countertop, so I didn't have like a mixer to mix it all up. And so I just bought those plastic add water pancake mixer. So I add the water, shaking it, and it exploded. Brand new RV, first time camping, all over the camper. So we're still finding little bits and pieces of pancake mix dried up on the ceiling, floor, cushions, pretty much everywhere. So that's really what I have to tell you today about your RV purchase. Thank you for participating with us. And Sarah, I'm going to send it back to you and see if we do have any questions, if we can answer anything for them.